It's important to set yourself apart in a saturated niche like print-on-demand tees, and this Etsy store has nailed it. Let's see how they blast past the competition. Hi, I'm Jess. I've built multiple 6- and 7-figure Etsy stores in various niches, getting sales like these, and learning the ins and outs of Etsy, Amazon, and more. A wild and crazy event led me to start a totally new life traveling abroad, giving me the unique opportunity to step back, work a lot less, and start sharing all of my Etsy insights with you. So hit that subscribe button, grab a pen and paper, and let's jump in.
So happy to see you today. This store is a great example of a print on demand store that utilizes variety in their designs to help build really strong, steady sales. So, this store is called Emerald and Jade Co. And I'm so excited to dig into this today because they have some really cool strategies going on that are actually a lot more simple than they appear. So, let's take a quick peek really briefly here at what their storefront looks like. So I'm going to sort this by most recent. Okay, so we can see that they have 2,141 listings. So pretty awesome, pretty massive selection. And if you look really briefly here, you can see a lot of variety. You see some holiday stuff pop up. You see some funny stuff pop up. They got some bride stuff going on, lots of different, even a few shamrock stuff. And you can see a lot of these messages that 20 people have this in their cart on a lot of different things 12, 8, 8, lots of good stuff going on. So, obviously, they have a massive, massive design selection, but they are also balancing seasonal designs with evergreen designs. So, what is the difference? Seasonal designs are things like holidays or wedding stuff, things that come around typically once a year. So, even with wedding season, there's a specific time of the year where most brides prefer to get married, right? When it's sunny, when it's warm, not too hot, but the weather's nice. These kinds of things are called seasonal designs. Now, evergreen designs is kind of the opposite of that. It's things that people will buy all year round. So, for example, Don't Be Salty. This could be purchased all year round. It is not seasonal. Same thing with this Enjoy the Little Things, right? One part of this store's strategy, something that's working so well for them, is that they're not just covering holiday designs, but that they also have a big variety of everyday designs with eye-catching styles. So let's talk about their Etsy store stats so you can see what kind of money this is bringing in, and then we will check out some bestsellers and really dig into what they're doing that is working so well. So, back at the top here, we can see that they have 37,000 sales, just over 37,000, which is a pretty good number. They are hovering right around an average product price of 20 bucks. Now, I gave them an average product price of 20 bucks. As you can see here, right now, none of their stuff is on sale. It was on sale when I originally reviewed their store about a week ago for this outline. If we take a peek, we could see this has lots of different designs here. This is not one of the best sellers we're going to dig into, but I want to give you a quick overview of their pricing. So most of these here are 23.26. The larger sizes are more expensive, and we do pay an additional shipping cost. So that being said, $20 average price point is very conservative. Okay, I just want to point that out because I do really try to be conservative, and I know you guys probably get sick of hearing that, but my goal with these videos is to give you guys a realistic idea of what these stores are making. And obviously, I don't know what they're technically making. I can't see the back ends of their sales and their costs and all that good information. All I can do is use my best guesstimate based on my own 15 some odd years of experience and, what I can see in their store and all that good stuff. Looking at the age of their shop, I'm going to their feedback, filtering by most recent, and I'm going to go to the very last page to see the first feedback that they have received. And that gives me a good idea of around when they started getting sales. So their first feedback is June 18th of 2021, which puts them just barely over that 2-year sales mark. And they've already accumulated 37,000 sales. So very, very cool with an average price point of that very low $20. That puts their approximate annual sales at $360,000 a year. Okay, that is really, really amazing sales. And that $20 accounts for having sales prices and just really averages things out. If we bring that up to a $24 price point, however, that brings their sales up to $432,000 a year. So we know that this store is making bank right now. They are really, really crushing it in sales. A big part of being a successful print on demand store, however, is having a super reliable supplier, someone that's going to have great pricing and quick shipping times. So, to save you guys time and energy, I have a awesome freebie. It is a cheat sheet with over 75 different print on demand suppliers that will help cut your research time down, and it covers all different types of print on demand products. So make sure you go, the link to all my resources is down in the video description. Check that out. It is awesome. There's also a couple other freebies just for print on demand sellers. So check those out too while you're down there. So you've probably already noticed while we were kind of checking out this storefront here that they do have a couple of things that are driving their sales. One really great feature that is driving sales to this store is that they have double-sided designs like this. And this is one of the best sellers that I did want to take a peek at because it is a double-sided design. This is unique. This is really cool. It's really cute. And obviously, this is an evergreen design. It's not related to a holiday or a specific season. It can be worn all year round. Now, most print on demand shirt manufacturers do offer prints on both sides, or they can print on one side or the other. Some of them even allow printing on the sleeves and other areas as well. That can really help you gain a massive sales boost because these double-sided designs are so appealing. However, I do want to give you a quick little disclaimer here that double-sided designs can get very expensive if you are using a print on demand manufacturer. If you are making these yourself, it's really not that much more work or that much more materials to offer double-sided designs. So if you have a garment printer or you have a silhouette or a Cricut and a heat press and you're making these yourself, this is really just 15 or 20 minutes of extra work and you can really start racking up the sales prices on these. But if you're relying on a manufacturer like Printify, that does get very expensive and it makes profitability on these types of shirts a lot more difficult. So I did want to point that out. Now, looking at this bestseller really briefly here, you can see that they only have one picture of the actual shirt. So that is really interesting to me how popular this shirt has become when this is the only image we actually get to see of the shirt itself. So keep that in the back of your head while we quickly peruse some of their other bestsellers here. This shirt is also a bestseller. It is a single-sided shirt. It is also an evergreen design. It is about girls having fundamental human rights. So it is a niche design. It has a very specific um target audience, whereas this one here, Do What Makes You Happy, has a much more broad target audience. So I do want to point that out that part of their strategy is having some of these more niche designs that are going to appeal to specific groups of buyers. So they do have more than one picture on this one, which is fantastic. And it brings me to the next point that I want to explain about their strategy. This store is really highlighting that these are Comfort Colors t-shirts. Right at the beginning of a lot of their listings, they flat out tell you, looking at this seasonal design here, this one says Retro Halloween Comfort Color Shirt. This other seasonal bestseller says Retro USA Comfort Color Shirt. And then, of course, we have the evergreen design Comfort Colors tee is right at the beginning. And this fundamental human rights one, Comfort Colors tee, is literally the first three words. So they are really highlighting the fact that these are Comfort Colors brand t-shirts. Now, comfort colored tees are not a super premium t-shirt. I'd say it's mid-range. So Bella Canvas, for example, is more of a premium shirt. It's softer, it's better quality cotton, and a lot of buyers will specifically, if they're very into buying t-shirts, will specifically look for Bella Canvas shirts. Comfort Colors is really gaining popularity up there with Bella Canvas, but it is more of a mid-range quality t-shirt. It's a thicker t-shirt. It's a heavier cotton, similar to Gildan tees, but better. So if you have Gildan tees or Hanes t-shirts down on the bottom and you have Bella Canvas up at the top, Comfort Colors is somewhere in the middle there in terms of quality. Now, the cool thing about Comfort Colors tees, or perhaps the cool thing about this seller in particular, is that they are using Comfort Color tees mock-ups to highlight, if we go back here, that these are relatively long t-shirts. If we go to this one here, their one image also highlights the fact that this looks almost like a t-shirt dress, right? It doesn't look like she has shorts on underneath this. I'm sure she obviously probably does, but there are benefits to showing the t-shirt in this style. And one of those benefits is that it has a little bit of a sex appeal to it, right? It looks attractive when she's wearing it as a dress. And that is kind of a psychological benefit. You know what they say? They've been saying it since the 90s. In marketing and advertising, they always say sex sells, right? So that is going to work in terms of buyer psychology. This is going to be something that we will naturally find more attractive because we can see the model's legs. And our brains are applying that idea to owning and wearing this ourselves when we're shopping for shirts like this. So, subconsciously, as a buyer, we are going to be more appealed. We're going to be more attracted to this shirt. And I know that probably sounds weird, but it works. So, that is a really strong strategy that they are rolling with in their shirt designs. And we can see it here on this Halloween shirt. We can see it here on their 4th of July shirt. Both of the images that they have here for this 4th of July shirt show it being worn like a dress. That is a really strong strategy that this store is using, and it is working really, really well for them. So, while we're talking about buyer psychology, I do have a video that specifically goes over tips and strategies of buyer psychology, or some marketers call it sales psychology, that really help you make your products more appealing to buyers and really capitalize on the different aspects of things buyers look for subconsciously when they are shopping. So check that video out. I will put that up at the top here. That is a really, really great video to watch. Now, I want to take a peek really quickly at some of this SEO that they have going on. So we're going to go back to one of their evergreen shirts here, something that sells year round because it's not going to have a lot of holiday keywords or any of those things. And again, we can see that, like I said before, they're really leading strongly with Comfort Colors tee. And we can see a lot of repetition in their title. So if I open up my workbook, and this is my Etsy Sellers Ultimate Success Workbook, which I made this. It's down at the link in my resources link in the video description. It has a lot of good stuff for tracking your shop performance, your pricing, your profits, It has a little bit of a growth planner so you can make a plan to grow your store strategically and all of that good stuff. But it does also have a little bit of competitor research and SEO stuff in it. But I do also have a new SEO workbook. It actually comes with a video as well. It's kind of a planning set. This is a little bit more specific. It gives you a lot more information, a lot more help with planning your SEO specifically. So I do have two workbooks. Feel free to check them both out. This one is very specific to SEO with titles, descriptions, tags, making drafts of your listings so that you can make sure your SEO is really set in place and use it as a template over and over again in different listings. However, for the purposes of today's video, I'm really trying to keep this short and sweet. We are just going to check out their title. I'm going to copy paste it in here, and they are literally using all 140 characters in their title. So that is really, really important. I do want to point out that they do have some errors here. For example, there's a space here that doesn't need to be here, but we can see that they have really put some thought and energy into choosing their title words, their title phrases. I also want to point out that they are using commas, okay? Because there has been some questions recently I've seen in Facebook groups and in video comments on YouTube and things like that, whether or not to use commas or slashes or bars. I always suggest using commas, bars, or slashes to break up the phrases in your title. That is important because that will help the Etsy algorithm recognize phrases which in SEO terms are considered long tail keywords. And that's going to help bolster or boost or improve your Etsy SEO. So they are using commas here. They are also using a lot of repetition in quote shirt, happy shirt, woman's oversized shirt, inspirational shirt, and shirts. Now, this is a little bit too much repetition in my opinion because they're missing t-shirt here. They could have taken at least one of these shirt, for example, women's oversized shirt and oversized shirt. That's direct repetition. They should have probably put oversized t-shirt, and they only have T in here once with Comfort Colors T. So it is a little bit less diversity than I would like to see here. I would like to see a little bit more variation, but they are making it very, very clear what phrases they're targeting here. So Etsy directly tells us not to be repetitive like this, and it also tells us that we don't need to say shirt and shirts with an S because their algorithm is supposed to factor those things in already. That being said, I do want to give you guys a very, very small little tip. Sometimes what Etsy says their algorithm can do and what it can actually do may not match. So if you're doing competitor research and you see 5 of the biggest competitors for your type of product all doing the same thing, for example, all repeating exact phrases like this, there's probably a reason they're doing it. And it's obviously working, or they wouldn't be dominating the niche as your biggest competitors. So keep in mind what Etsy suggests to do for their algorithm, but also keep in mind what the biggest sellers are doing because there's a reason they became the biggest sellers. There's a reason that what they're doing is working. So I do want to give you guys that little side note that sometimes when you see things happening over and over again, there's a reason for that. And it's because it works. That being said, my Etsy SEO workbook here will help you as you fill in your competitors, see these trends and see these commonalities and these things that all of the biggest competitors are doing so that your eyes can really pick up on that and pull out the most important um, phrases, the most important repetitions, the most important strategies that we may not see if we're looking at these one by one, tab by tab. Okay, so let's take a peek really quickly here at their tags. This tag is "Do What Makes You Happy" shirt. It is very, very, very specific. It is literally the entire phrase. And I want to point out that it's over 20 characters. So this is an Etsy suggested search phrase based on what people are typing into their search bar. This is not a tag that the seller has entered in themselves. Why does that matter? When we're looking at these related searches, we can see the tags that they type in, but we're probably not going to see all of their tags because we're also going to see the related search phrases that customers are typing in as well. So I want to point that out. Anytime you see something that's over 20 characters, it is because people keep typing it into Etsy's search bar, and that phrase, that search phrase, is leading to this product and leading people to purchase this product. So that's important, and that can help you discover keywords that the competitor may not have initially thought of. So it kind of goes one step beyond in terms of your keyword searching and your keyword research. Now they also have t-shirt women trendy, comfort colors t-shirt. Like I said, they needed to have that t-shirt in the title there. We can see that here. Do what makes you happy. Oversized t-shirt, shirts for women trendy, motivational shirt, comfort colors shirt, women's shirts. If we scroll down, we can see a lot more specific and a lot more short tags here. So, for example, we see trendy shirt. We see happy shirt. This is a little bit more specific. Mental health shirt. This is more specific because this is specifically targeting people looking for mental health shirts. And then you have comfort colors, oversized. This is very, very, very broad search term. So this is going to pull up a ton of things in Etsy search that will have, t-shirts for guys, t-shirts for girls, all different kinds of different designs, even things like sewing patterns, jackets. It is not specific to t-shirts, so probably not the strongest use of a tag. Instead of just saying oversized, if the seller is using this as a tag, having oversized tees or oversized shirts would be a lot better. It would help narrow that down a little bit. So essentially, when looking at this buyer, we can see there's really three things that they are doing to really boost their sales and set themselves ahead of all of their competitors, right? So first of all, they have double-sided designs, they have evergreen or year-round designs, they have seasonal and holiday designs. They really have capitalized on building a huge variety of designs. The second thing that they're doing to set themselves apart is really making their designs appealing to buyers. They're using this dress style to really emphasize the appeal of this product and using a little bit of buyer psychology to get your attention and to make you say, hey, that shirt looks kind of hot. I like that. I want to look kind of hot. I'm going to buy that. And all of that happens in our brains subconsciously. So, very, very smart use of visual appeal in their images. And then I do also want to point out the third thing because we haven't talked about this, and I know this video is getting long, so I want to make this as short as possible. They are really going with very specific mock-ups to capitalize on the appeal of their designs. So, mock-ups are alive and well, and those great mock-ups are going to get more attention on Etsy's search pages. Okay, so I know this video is super long. I wanted to keep these as short as possible, so I apologize. But I'm actually going to invite you guys to check out this amazing print on demand store that only has about 650-ish listings, and they make even more money than this one. You've got to see the super simple designs that really set them apart. You can watch that video here.